Well, pre-season training is a crucial time for all clubs. Players aren't the only ones being put through their paces to be fully prepared for the new campaign. Chris Reedy is at Loughborough University, where the PGMOL are helping referees get ready. Chris, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yes, football fans will be very happy to hear it's a windy pre-season for referees, and I'd like to say I'm joined by Kevin Friend, who's a Select 2 group manager who's in charge of Championship referees. And Kevin, what exactly goes into a referee's pre-season? What's happening today?
So pretty much like a normal club. So we build up over the pre-season, and basically coming into today's camp at Loughborough, which is one of our training bases, is priming the referees and the assistants ready for the season start this weekend on Friday and Saturday. So getting everybody's preparations physically and mentally in the right way that we need to for the approach going into the season start.
What's it like for a referee a few days before a new season? Is it nerves? Is it excitement? What does it feel like?
Oh, it's amazing. I think that the buzz, the adrenaline, the feeling of just sort of like the start of the season again. Like any fan, we're all football fans at heart anyway, and just waiting for the season to get going again, waiting for the first whistle to be blown. The build-up is sort of like it's immense. To be involved in that is something unreal, and to be in the middle of it from the referee's perspective again is something out there.
Are you guys competitive? What was pre-season like? Has it changed a lot down the years? Is there a big focus on fitness? And I know you've been doing some classroom work today as well.
Yeah, so again, the biggest thing over pre-season is fitness, is building on. Competitive spirit is massive. Like in any team, wherever you've always got the ones that want to beat everybody else in the races and the fitness testing. So there's always going to be that, but it's always healthily done. Inside with classroom-based stuff that we're doing as well is looking at the refereeing approach, technical basis and stuff. So it's changed a little bit since when I refereed. Obviously everything's in colour now. It was black and white when I refed. It's brilliant. I think looking at the spirit of the guys turning up today, they're in great mood, great spirit, ready to sort of like get the season going.
Yeah, just about to see some of those referees coming up now, warming up behind us there, Kevin. Look, just in terms of the EFL, I know, we're speaking to every single EFL club coming up ahead of the Championship's return on Friday. And it's part of your job to go and brief those EFL clubs about any new rules, any new adaptations coming up for this season. We've got one for handball, we've got one for holding in the box. Can you just explain to our audience what they might see differently in terms of the handball rule and holding in the box going into next season?
Yes, I think if you look at handball, we've gone into every club to tell them our approach. Regarding handball, there's only a slight change and tweak into where we're going with that. And I think one of the areas with that is just like the change in trajectory. So if a player makes a shot or a cross and it hits the player's foot, and it then changes its trajectory, changes the actual direction that it goes, clearly impacts and hits the arm that might be out unnaturally, unjustifiably, we're not going to look to penalise that as a penalty kick. We saw some soft penalties last season for handball. So if there's a clear directional movement from the ball, from the foot onto the hand, we're not going to be penalising that. So we're basically looking for examples where it clearly hits the arm, unjustifiably, hands above the head, away from the body, to deliberately block the ball coming into the box or going into goal.
And holding in the box, we're talking about corners, free kicks. What are we going to see potentially change there in terms of what referees are looking for in terms of penalties and around holding in the box?
Okay, so I think one of the things that we love about English football, the Championship, League 1, League 2, is the physicality. We love physical element to the game. We don't want to take that out. We understand that teams do block before the ball's coming in. There is elements of holding. We understand there's going to be mutual holding. Both sets of players. We're not going to intervene with that. What we're looking at is the clear holding offences that impact the ability of the attacker to get onto the ball, or the clear impact of the ability of the attacker doing something with the ball. So if the defender's actions are to deliberately bring the player down by holding him, sustained, impactful, then we're going to penalise that. Whether that's on the ball or off, the more away from the ball, the more severe it's got to be. We saw a couple of examples last season of defending players, rugby tackling, attacking players, 15 yards away from where the ball was, and actions like that are non-football and extreme, we'd look to penalise going into this season. Very difficult on field for the referee, but again, we're empowering and encouraging the referees as a team to sort of like understand the team tactics, what players are doing, how they're setting up, and actually identifying these little areas that we need to sort of like pinpoint.
So essentially for that one, if both players are at it, in a sense, we're not going to see so many penalties being given, but if it's deliberate and we can see that it's a really unnatural action, expect to see a penalty in the box.
Yeah, definitely. It's no by no means like a clamp down or anything like that. It's what we did last season, but it's more sort of like approaches. What is the impact? So what are the intentions of the defending player? What are the actions of the attacking player? What are players doing within that penalty area? And if there's a clear impact from that defending player to stop an attacking player getting to the ball or getting into a position, then we'll look to penalise this season.
It's at the start of last season, we saw initiatives around surrounding the referee. We saw initiatives around time wasting. And actually, we've been running some stats today on Sky Sports News that have shown that in the EFL especially, goals went up, ball and play went up. Were you pleased to see that? And will you kind of expect to see that ongoing this season because of those initiatives that came in last season? Those directions, I should say.
Yeah, the directions, I think last season when we first brought it in, the approach that we took was very robust. If you look at the amount of surrounding last season was lower than it was the previous season. And again, that's the approach that having the relationship with the referees and the players on the field of play have been a massive positive in actually helping and talking and speaking with the captains in the right way, in the right manner. So we saw that come down. We will still completely do the same approach with players, with dissent, by action or verbally with referees. It's visual to everybody. We'll still be strong in regards of that. With the time element, the biggest thing that we love about football is the pace of the game, how we play the game. We want to see more goals. That's what excites us as not just referees but fans as well. So we want to have as much effective playing time as we can. So we're encouraging the referees to actually look at how the game's played, the tactics within delaying the game. How can we enforce that to make sure that we minimise the delays and actually try and get more playing time with spectators? That's what we pay to see is the players playing football on the pitch.
Like you said, you're a football fan. So how satisfying was it to see that as a result of those changes, actually there was more goals and there's more ball and play as well? Because I guess it's good for referee that you're getting less back chat, but actually it's impacting the game for fans as well.
Oh, massively, massively. And we want to see goals. We want to see exciting football. The more goals we see, the better it's going to be for everybody. And again, we have a responsibility not just for, if we're telling players that they have to talk to us in the right way or behave in the right way, it works both ways as well with us as referees. And we've said this with the referees and at clubs, that the way we talk to players, the way we interact with the managers and the coaches on the technical area, we as referees have to have the same approach. If we want respect and we want to show respect, we have to do that dually.
Jarrett Gillett's going to be taking charge of this weekend's Community Shield after an injury to John Brooks. I mean, what's it like to referee a game at Wembley? How big a moment is that?
Oh, mate, it's everybody wants to go to Wembley to referee and to walk out there. I've been fortunate to referee at Wembley on numerous occasions, and every time, whether it was the first time or the last time, the hairs on the back of your head go up. The crowd, it's full. The atmosphere, the adrenaline. You go through and you get 20 minutes into the game and you get a dry mouth. You get that feeling. But it's the buzz, everything about it is special. So for Jared this weekend, again, it's a special moment for him to sort of like take that mantle to go and do the final.
Kevin Friend, thank you very much for joining us on Sky. We're here, like we said, referees back in pre-season. Only a few days now left to go into the Championship. They're getting ready. And yes, Championship back on Sky this Friday.